Today we're going to dive into a topic that's near and dear to my heart, little space. Hi, welcome back to the channel. I just got off of an extended technology detox, and it was very refreshing. Very refreshing, I must say. And you bet your ass I was in little space. I did little space by candlelight. It's just simply amazing. And a flashlight. I did have a flashlight in there because I don't consider flashlights as technology. So before we dive into the topic, I need to remind everybody that everything on my videos is not the gospel according to Mark. You know, in ABDL and DL, everybody has the right to have their own opinion and have their own way of doing things. It's never been the gospel according to Mark. I don't claim I'm any smarter than anybody else. Everyone does little space the best that fits them. And for those on the outside looking in, ABDL, DL is just a kink fetish lifestyle outside the norm. Could be sexual, could be non-sexual, just depends on the individual themselves. It's not a one-size-fits-all kind of community. As I say, to each their own. So to kick off this topic, I'm going to share something that is within my little space. I'm going to share with you that I couldn't even think to do little space without. This is Timmy. This is my little space partner in crime. I think he's more of a bad influence on me, but you know, he's my partner in crime. I play with him and I cuddle with him when I'm sleeping. So Timmy's pretty much near me most of the night. There was one night that I woke up, and I guess at some point in the night I had knocked Timmy off the bed, and I woke up and I was just in fear. I'm like, oh my God, where's Timmy at? Where's Timmy at? And I looked down and there he was on the floor. I felt bad. I'm just saying, I felt horrible that I threw Timmy off the bed. Now, I don't think I've ever thrown him off the bed since then. You know, I felt guilty. When my mom, myself, my brother, and his wife all went to Vegas for a weekend, my mom and I shared a room, and I, of course, brought Timmy because I couldn't even think to sleep without Timmy there. And my mom thought it was cute that I was sleeping with a bear and took a picture, and I'm sure it's in a frame or something on a wall at her house or something. I don't know. She lives really far away, so I rarely get over to see her. She lives clear across the United States. So anyhow, toys, movies, TV shows, all of that would mean absolutely nothing without Timmy there. He's just part of my little space. So because he is such a big part of little space, and we're going to talk about little space, Timmy will just sit right here with me during the video. Right, Timmy? Right? Okay. Anyhow, let's move on. So for me, little space is a place of comfort and security. It allows me to temporarily get away from stress from adulthood. Leave that shit behind. And return when life was simpler and filled with imagination and wonder. I don't know why it is, but people tend to lose their imagination as they get older. And I think imagination is just an amazing thing. Little space is not about being a child, but more of embracing the carefree spirit of childhood. Now, there are those out there that think little space means getting into inappropriate relationships with those that are of a younger age. I know, I couldn't believe it myself when somebody said that. I was just in shock. It was during a get-together with me and a couple of my vanilla friends, who all know that I'm ABDL, and there was old John, speaking with authority about shit he didn't understand. He acted like he had ABDL all figured out. He knew everything about that there was to know about it. So John was the one that said, you know, ABDLs are just, you know, wanting to have inappropriate relationships with the younger age. So I know it's bad to say, and maybe I should have thought about it a little bit more before I said it, but I said, now John, dear John, can I ask you a question? Did your mother raise very many other dumb children? I told him, I said, you speak as if you have firsthand knowledge of the ABDL DL community that you're not involved in. When was the last time you saw me talking to somebody under the age of 18, other than family. While you're thinking about that, John, need I remind you that I am in fact ABDL. And that's when it hit him. Embarrassment of letting the entire group know that he was a bullshitter, that he had no idea what the hell he was talking about. The fear that he is about ready to get his ass handed to him, and the confusion as to how he was going to backpedal this bullshit he was talking about. Anyways, I educated him, and all is well with poor old John. So not only is there misconceptions about ABDL, but there's also misconceptions about ABDL and little space. It's very important for us to educate those on the outside looking in that ABDL is a consensual and adult-orientated kink, fetish, lifestyle outside the norm, and it is not related to the big P word, nor does it have any harmful activities. Little space is all about self-expression and finding a healthy way to cope with stress, anxiety, and just day-to-day life. So little space is a very, very special time in a little's life. Whether it be solo, well, I guess if you have somebody like Timmy with you, I guess it's really not solo now, is it? Or whether it be with another little, or even a big, or a caregiver. There's no right or wrong way to do little space. What works for me may not work for you. Maybe you don't need a Timmy in your little space world. Maybe you can do it all on your own. Who knows? It's up to you. But my advice for those who are new to ABDL, or those that have been in ABDL but haven't actually been able to go into little space and whatnot, my advice to you would be take your time and explore it at your own pace. There's no need to try to get yourself into the speedrun.com site for the fastest to understand and get into little space. I would suggest you start off by understanding your feelings towards little space, finding a supportive community, and most importantly, if you're in a relationship, communicate with your partner. Little space is a personal experience. Each person will have their own way of being in little space. You just need to find your own way of what little space means to you. Just because somebody does little space this way doesn't mean you have to do little space that way. You do it however fits you. For me, I enjoy playing with toys with Timmy. That's what makes me feel little. That's what puts me into little space, is Timmy. And finding the right time to go into little space. I know a lot of people out there within the ABDL community say, oh, it's so hard. I haven't been in little space in so long. And you have to kind of find time to do it. You can't just, life throws you curves all the time. And yeah, a lot of us will be busy throughout the day and stuff, but you need to find that time. For me, for example, before I go to bed, I go in, I take my shower, get ready for bed, and then I go into my room, and for at least 30 minutes, an hour, every single night, I go into little space. Every single night. Because for me, it's that important for me to find the time, to make the time to go into little space. It helps me mentally. It helps me sleep. I mean, I only sleep like 4 hours a day anyways. So, having that 4 hours be very comfortable, because I usually fall asleep in little space. There's times I've woken up on the floor. I've fallen asleep on the floor and whatnot. But nonetheless, it's very important for you to make the time. If it's important enough for you to have, it's important enough for you to find the time to do it. And I've had people say, oh, well, I don't have that much time. My clock has 24 hours on it. I don't know how many hours you have on your clock, but mine has 24. So find time to go into little space. If you're a little, find time to go into little space. Even if it's just once a week, go into it. It'll relieve a lot of stress. It relieves a lot of stress for me, I can tell you that much. Little space is your space, and whoever you decide to invite into your little space. You can play with toys. You can watch TV, watch a movie, watch a TV show. Maybe little space for you is curling up on the couch with your caregiver and just watching TV. Who knows? It's your space and nobody can tell you how to enjoy it. It's your personal space. So I hope I've shed a little light on what little space is. I know little space is a huge thing and I can probably talk for hours and hours, but I don't think anybody will really watch a 8-hour documentary on little space. But remember, it's okay to embrace this part of yourself if it brings you happiness and doesn't harm anyone. So like, subscribe, and until the next time, stay little, stay happy.